Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, Shinrin-yoku, and Yurt Life, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, November 1st, around noontime, Mountain Time 2023. Big update here. Klyuchevskoy volcano on the Kamchatka Peninsula exploding to 46,000 feet. That is right near the stratospheric boundary. We'll show more footage in just a moment as we are waiting for an imminent eruption in Iceland. Keep calm, it's boom time. At least 4,000 people are evacuated after Highland Wildfire fueled by the Santa Ana winds torches 9 homes in Riverside County, California. The seasonal Santa Ana winds have returned and are causing chaos in California. The Highland Fire in Riverside County broke out Monday and has already raged through thousands of acres of land, and over 4,000 Californians have fled their homes to escape the quickly spreading fire here in Aguanga. There is the scale 1 mile, right by California 371 and California 79 where they come together. Portions of 371 obviously closed for obvious reasons, and there is the extent of the Highland Fire. Halloween cold snap over the lower 48 is setting records, and the mainstream media is quiet today. There were hundreds of record cold temperatures set in the last 24 hours, hours of powers in over a dozen states. Many of you who live in the U.S. know what I'm talking about. Record colds as far as South Texas and as far north as Minnesota. Here is that cold temperature plume this morning, record cold all the way down, well, for the whole country. Take a look. The only warm area is the tip of Florida there and portions of the desert here in the southwest. This cold is going to continue for a few days here, and then we'll get a little Indian summer warm up here sometime in mid-November, right there. That's going to be November 5th is the beginning of the warm-up. The snow will continue to fall over the next 5 days, especially in high elevation regions of western Wyoming and central Utah. Take a look at that. Snow in Montana. Maybe some snow entering the Sierras by Wednesday. And we do have a small amount of precipitation in the northeast. It looks like those ski resorts will be getting 1 to 3 inches in the high elevations as well. November chill for the east. Fire concerns for the Gulf Coast. Heavy rainfall for the Pacific Northwest. New record-setting chilly temperatures for portions of the central and southern and eastern states through the middle of the week. That warm-up begins on the 5th. The dry and breezy conditions raise the concern for fires that could spread quickly along the Gulf Coast states, so heed the warnings there. Strong onshore flow increases the risk of rip currents and high surf for areas in the south and the southeast. That's all along these pink zones. And scientists now, a new paper coming out finding 2 ways that hurricanes can rapidly intensify. This is after a hurricane in the eastern Pacific rapidly intensified from a tropical storm to Cat 5 in 24 hours. All you need is a good recipe of extremely warm surface temperatures, which we had in that region due to the ongoing El Nino, and low shear, which must have happened. There was no shear, high sea surface temperatures. Well, and you get a rapidly intensifying hurricane. Seismic update. We had 2 moderate quakes yesterday, one in Chile, I believe one over here in Indonesia perhaps, both at around 6 magnitude, 6.6. None of them creating any damage. And overall, worldwide, we are quite calm. But that does not include Iceland here. As the Reykjanes volcano, yet another seismic swarm yesterday. Actually, was a period of 2 days there, and you can see this one has come to an end as well. But this is an ongoing scenario. What we do know is that there has been record uplift in the Reykjanes Peninsula to the tune of 30 millimeters in just 48 hours. So hours of powers here. So there is definitely a plume of magma being placed under the ground in Iceland, and we're keeping a close eye on it as the situation develops. And that brings us to one of the highest eruptions since Hunga Tonga, Klyuchevskoy volcano in the Kamchatka, sending an ash plume over the last 24 hours to 14 kilometers. A huge eruption plume drifting 1,500 kilometers towards the southeast. We have footage of that eruption that we will play for you here. Let me know what you think. So Klyuchevskoy, interestingly enough, this volcano is just 7,000 years old. There was no volcano here earlier in the Holocene, and it began erupting 7,000 years ago and is now one of the tallest here in the Kamchatka at around 16,000 feet here. So you can see how high this plume is going, well over 30,000 feet. In fact, 46,000 feet is the estimated plume height. The volcano had been showing dramatic activity over the past few hours. The explosive eruption at the summit vent has been picking up and culminated in a powerful Vulcanian-sized ash column. Abundant gray, constant emissions of very fine ash rose an estimated 14 kilometers, 46,000 feet into the air. The ash plume has been traveling along vast stretches of about 1,500 kilometers to the southeast of the volcano. At times of this update, aviation color code for the volcano raised to red, and that would be a very dangerous situation if you flew a plane through that. So Klyuchevskoy, huge Vulcanian paroxysm earlier today. Shishaldin, aviation color code lowered there, so all is quiet on the Western Front. Space weather news update for November 1st. Happy November. We do have some activity in the last 24 hours, significant activity now pushing the X-rays up above M. Two small M flares here showing up after a high C flare here. This was the plasma filament release yesterday. If you missed it, a filament located on the southeast quadrant lifted off yesterday, beginning just 20 UTC on the 31st. A CME was produced from this, and we do have the modeling, which shows it's coming nowhere near Earth, so directly away from Earth. No other threats in the near future. 3-day geomagnetic forecast, all calm. And so we do have a coronal hole here, 67, which could be a geoeffective later. Well, in over a week. Cosmic chills. The mysterious ghost hand discovered by NASA's X-ray telescopes looks like, well, a skeletal hand now, doesn't it? By combining data from Chandra and IXPE, astronomers are learning more about how pulsars are injecting particles into space and shaping its environment. And sometimes the pictures are creepy. All the links will be below. Quantum breakthrough. Scientists rethink the nature of reality. Well, have you smoked DMT? Quantum physics from Hiroshima University have revealed that the results of quantum measurements are fundamentally tied to the interaction dynamics between the measuring device and the system, challenging traditional views of fixed physical properties and suggesting that reality is shaped by the context of these interactions. Their findings point to a need to rethink the interpretation of quantum experimental data, and that is a trippy picture. Google AI chief says there's a 50% chance we will hit AGI in just 5 years. Artificial general intelligence means that will be the point in which computers know everything that humans know. Scary times ahead. Speaking of scary, the Treasury is going to borrow $776 billion in the final 3 months of the year. That's $776,000 million. And that's a boom to knowledge. Things are about to crash. I hope you're prepared, not scared. Please share this video as we are shadow banned. We need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. We love you. Be safe.